And a persistent buzzing, random number of giant flies spawn with every enemy wave. These extra monsters do not drop gold. This is actually the easiest of these three. Just giving us extra enemies really means nothing. It's not. I call it a swarm variant. They're just trying to overwhelm you, swarm your formation. We're gonna go here. This is the easiest one, and I want to do the easiest ones, right? I want to do the easiest ones. So let's get myself some gold. Do I have any small speed? Oh, I do. 15 minutes. Sure. Let's go a little faster for 15 minutes. Not a lot. I don't necessarily like using the smaller speed potions early on, because then you get really used to them, and then it feels weird when you slow down. But let's go. Let's try to get through at least the start of this a little bit faster. I'm not going to use any other potions at this point, though. I don't need any of the other ones right away. I just need to go fast. Just need to go fast. Same kind of concept here. I'm not going to level up my champions except for the one that gives me gold. Ooh, 500 gems. Ooh, baby. Give me some chests. That's 10 silver chests. Thank you. Give it to me. Okay. Hit me. Oh, we got a blue for Nayeli, and it's her health item, folks. She just got 50% more tanky, basically. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this Electrum from the code. We're getting closer. Like, Brunar's got a couple whites. Nayeli's got a couple whites. Charles has got a bunch. Yeah, so we're getting closer. The goal is I want to get all greens before I stop popping those gold chests, but yeah. We're making progress. That's what we want to see, is just slow and steady progress early on. The other thing I want to do, I didn't really earn extra favor, but let's go see. No, yeah. So I didn't really even accrue enough for this. I could change this. Jarlaxle would attack 0.05 seconds faster. I don't care. I don't find that worth it. I would rather have the gold at this point in my progress than have him attack a little faster, because that's not been the issue. If I needed more wave clear, I could pop ultimates. I haven't really been doing that a lot. We haven't really needed to. But that's a way you can sometimes progress a little further towards the end of a run. Yeah. Usually that's for like if you're trying to beat a boss and you're having a problem beating that boss. Oh, this is the full formation. That's right. I'm like, I can add Ashara. I'm like, I don't want to add people, right? I'm not going to add Minsk this time because he's just going to get swapped out. So I'm not going to bother with him. And you can see the little flies are the extra ones, and whenever they die, they don't drop anything. It's fine. It's fine. So when you're reading restrictions, it's important to like translate them into what you're actually going to be running, like the experience you're actually going to be running into. How does it change things? Does it actively make it more difficult, or is it just kind of like, eh? And this is one that's just kind of, eh. If it was a bigger problem, you could actually build a formation. You could have Jarlaxle just in the back for, here, you know what, we'll do it. We'll do Jarlaxle in the back for gold find, and we'll make our DPS Ashara. So Ashara DPS is going to bond Potpourri. That focuses the buffs on her. She has multi-attacks that are going to hit the things that are closing in on you first. So this is a good way to to take care of a swarm type of variant. is to have a multi-attack or AoE DPS. Minsk is an AoE DPS. He just hits some things harder than others. You could set him to beasts in this, in a persistent buzzing, because the flies are beasts, and this is also, I think this is Beast Intentions. It's a variant of Beast Intentions, so lots of beasts. Minsk would do well as a DPS here as well. But we'll do an Ashara DPS this round, just because we haven't shown off a different DPS yet. So just a different style. It means Jarlaxle's only in this formation to provide gold, and nothing else. He's not buffing anything except for your gold pine, which generally isn't what you're looking for. Usually you want something along with that. Usually it's not enough to just buff that. But again, I'm going to focus on leveling up Jarlaxle because I want his gold find first. How hard it would be right now to do the event unlocks? Oh, the event unlocks in Idle Champions have always been super easy. You only have to get to area 50, even with no favor. It's a walk in the park. Those are never a problem, in my opinion. Those are never a problem, and it'll be the same. Nothing about that is changing in the new system either. It's just that the tiers, going up higher tiers is going to be more challenging. But unlocking the champion is just an area 50 run with no restrictions, except the fact that you don't have any favor, at least for the first champion, right? Hey, we defeated 100 bosses. But then once you've unlocked one champion, when you go to do the unlock adventure for another champion, now you have favor, and it just got even easier. So I like to treat the adventure, like the champion unlocks, as favor pushes. I just go in and on a new account, I'm pushing for favor. I treat it a little differently on my main account, and I use it like as a prime. I use the first one as a primer, where basically I'm just going in and grabbing a quick amount of favor as a multiplier before my second run is my deepest run on my main account. But or my second run is my first deep run, I should say. But when I'm running on a new player account like this one, when we do the event next Wednesday, I'm just going to push. It's real far on the first event or first champion unlock adventure, because because why not? Start that favor snowball right away and make everything else easier. Wednesday is going to be a busy day because not only am I going to be doing champion unlocks on technically 3 accounts, my main, this one, and my test account for building my guides, I'm going to have to rebuild the format of my guides in a sense, because there's now tiers of stuff, and the events work differently, and yeah, I'm going to have to prep that this weekend. Based off the blog. It's kind of what I was waiting for, because lots of changes. Good changes, but still, that means I got a lot of work to do. Now that we're using Ashara DPS, she's got some interesting features. She's got Paragon of Kirsabal, so that's like if you get a certain number of her bonds matched, then she also gets it as well. We already chose Potpourri, which she gets, so she effectively gets it twice. And then there's later on she'll get extra base attacks, and then when the formation ability that when the formation is attacked, she takes it into the air and does ramping more damage while she's airborne. She becomes airborne artillery. So with that, it didn't really matter before, but now it does. So she's our DPS. You should just call it sick on Wednesday. I mean, it's not like I have 132 champion guides that may need to be tweaked, plus an event planning guide, plus 12 event guides. 145 guides that are going to be affected by events 2.0 to some extent. Out of the 170 I have, that's almost all of them. That's almost all of them. But I'm not going to update them all at once. I'm going to do it as the event with those champions arrives. I'll update each champion's blog or post a guide to fit the new event structure. I'm not going to try to break myself. Vince 2.0 is like job security. I did not need job security. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I would rather CNE make the game so accessible that you don't need guides for it. And I was out of a job and had to do something else. That's because I do this because I want it to be that easy for people, and it isn't. Yeah. Finding out that we can get so many corrupted gems now, but there's no shall we say, clear best early purchase for new players. Yes, it's a big problem. I communicated that problem in a meeting yesterday with the designer. They get it. Who knows when we'll see it change or if, but they get my problems with it and the problems you're stating. We won't know the flex options until Wednesday. Well, I think it's safe to say that it's every champion that was in Festival of Fools, right? So Strix, Rosie, Briv, Alindra, Tatiana, and Miria should all be flex. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6. Yeah, that's the last 6 champions. There's 6 of the champions that'll be flex. There's probably going to be 2 or 3 more. Because the adjacent events will need to absorb some more. And yeah, they didn't give us a list for that. So we just kind of have to wait. Sorry, picking you up. I worked myself out of a job at least 4 times over a few decades within the same company. Hey, at least they put you somewhere else. But yeah, I'm the kind of person that's like I was working for a third-party moderation company, and I was like, a lot of what we're removing every day really should just be done with a bot, and like it would get rid of it immediately, like the really bad stuff, and then we could still do the rest. And they got permission for the company that we were moderating through to like go ahead. It was a streaming service that no longer exists for other reasons. And they're like, yeah. And so they gave me control, this, third-party moderator. But I was the one with the experience. It's that institutional knowledge. I had the institutional knowledge to build out the bot correctly and have it remove the right things. And so I built out a bot that had a few hundred words. Maybe it was anywhere between 200 and 300 words, I think. It's basically, it was a small, and that might scare people. It's a small list of bad words and all the different ways people try to retype them to get past a bot. You got to do that with certain very hateful words. You got to make that a bot removal. And so I did that, and suddenly our, work, like processed work numbers dropped through the floor. And my boss was like, try not to make that so good that you put us all out of a job. And I'm like, my reply back was, no intelligent company would get rid of us, because all that did was take out a couple bad words, and all the rest of the junk people say that's bad, that can't get removed by that. It gives us the ability to remove the freedom, like the free time to be able to address the actual contextual problems in chat. Yeah. Yeah, but they were real worried. My boss was real worried. I was going to put our whole group out of work. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. You've been doing this for a while. Why do you think it works that way? This is a problem. It's a problem that you think that's how this job works, and you're my boss. I love how Nieli's alive still, and we haven't leveled her up at all. That's that blue health item, folks. She got beefy. She got beefy. All right, now we're into the realm of with this. So this amount of favor gets us to about area 70, and then we've got to start leveling up champions. Clearly. All right. So now we're getting our slow push on. Sounds like a job for regular expressions. You know that term, but I don't know that term. Is that regex? I mean, we just found easy to use bots that were available and just used one, which it probably uses that. Oh. I use tools. I don't make tools. I use tools. I don't make them. Sometimes I am one, but I'm sure in some people's minds, but you know. What everyone wants to hear, she got beefy. Look, Nieli's got some thick thighs and she saves lives. She's a barbarian, right? A paladin, human paladin, excuse me. Yeah, swinging a two-handed greatsword. She buff. What feats and gold items in the Thayan Enclave are worth buying? So if you have an excess of corrupted gems right now, which I don't, because I'm a new player. Dynahair's Golden Epic is for specializations. This is specifically the item that makes her mathematically overpowered when you use her left-hand spec. Her left-hand spec is the one that makes her con buff mop. It makes it mop. Turns her into a mop champion. So that's a target. Virgil's speed. This is Virgil's speed item, and this takes his the cap down a lot. So this would be a good target if you've got Virgil and you were going to invest in them for speed. This reduces the investment needed to max it out. This is Karlach's health item, and her health item is her big beefy item because her multiplicatively stacking ability, her mop, is her health share. So this, if you give her lots and lots of health, not only does it help her be a good tank, but then she shares that with your whole party, making them super survivable. Feat-wise, I don't usually go for feats. The Ceramorphosis feats, like the Tadpole feats, are good if you're trying to build an absolute adversary's formation and add some of these in. Prestos gets you access to Vajra? Vajra, yes. Karlach's is Fury of Avernus. I mean, it's nice, but usually with this stuff, I'm like, Soul Cage is nice. But usually with these, I'm just looking at it as a preview of what's going to happen, what I'm going to get when those end up available for gems in the future, because they always do. So those are good options. Just remember, like, when in doubt, support pigments are the biggest boost. Unless that golden epic is for a mop ability, like, is, you know, then support pigments are the best. Do your guides cover how to unlock all the evergreens? Yes, I have a guide for each of them. Yeah. So there's a section in my there's a section there. If you scroll down, there's a guides to the core 12 champions, and then there's guides to obtaining evergreens, and it has everything from Hitch down to Commodore Crux in it. And that's actually my new player reference is the one that actually directs you from evergreen to evergreen. On the other hand, Carlock is Bay. Yes, that's the problem. Carlock is Bay, so everything for Carlock has to get bought. Because if you like it, then you should put some bling on it, right? to paraphrase. Modron chests. Modron chests are a no from me, dog. Eventually, Modron chests will be my priority on my main account, but only after every single one of my support champions items have a support pigment on it. The support pigment is still the most valuable player in the Théan Enclave. It's literally triple damage. Every pigment you put on someone triples your formation damage, and they don't add together; they multiply against each other. So it is way better. Whereas a Modron chest is just a random roll, and the chance of you getting what you need out of that chest very low. Very low, but a support pigment guarantees you triple damage to your formation instantly. So priority purchase, in my opinion. Ultimately, out of the Théan Enclave, buy what you want to buy. But if you're trying to aim for like efficiency, the most efficient spending of them, then yeah, there are some rules. Where are we at? 100. Area 100, that's right. I'm like, where are we going again? Which way did he go, George? We lost our speed potion, so you're slowing to a bit of a crawl. What are we doing on Unlock a Mert? I'm 116 out of the 2,000 item levels I need. It's a little slow. It's a little slow, but honestly, that's kind of normal. This is kind of a problem with early on. It's why I wish they hadn't given us corrupted gems as rewards for these early guide quests. Green gems would have been great, or electrum chests, because that gives you items, gold for your current run, and green gems. But green gems just for the choice would have been great. I could actually get some stuff that could get me item levels with green gems, but the corrupted gems are just, they're sitting over here. I got 2,000 of them now. If that was 2,000, this was just the same number of green gems, I'd be real close. If I could have just held on to my green gems and had another familiar here soon. Or I could buy lots of silver chests and have power right away. Speaking of silver chests, no, it's a dupe. Doesn't help. Doesn't help our progression, unfortunately. Not directly. Our progression of getting, I mean, it helps our power. It doesn't help our progression towards getting greens on everyone. But as you can see, everybody on our bench, in the bench seats right now, has full items. Yeah, Delena's almost full green. So, I mean, one of the first good goals is just get an item in every slot, and it looks like we're there. Looks like we made it. Give me more of those sweet, sweet gems. Thanks. You know what? Gimme, gimme, gimme. That's one more. Minsk got a green. We're not really using Minsk at the moment, but that's fine. He still needs stuff. Ultimately, because our long-term goal is to get everybody to full epic, but that's a very long-term goal. I kind of want to play this account to that point. We may even play beyond that point. I don't know. I haven't decided when we're going to stop on this account yet, but it's going to be a much deeper progression playthrough than I normally do. Normally I just try to get to what I consider the mid game, which is unlocking Trials of Mount Tiamat. And then we stop usually somewhat after that, but I think we're going to try to go further this time. Yep, Archon. Fully geared. So everybody has gear. Everybody has 6 pieces of gear, so that's a good first milestone. Now the second milestone is getting everybody here up to green or better. Green or better. And then I'll start opening these gold chests. I'm specifically saving those for that. Because if I open these golds now, there's a chance that they could just turn one of these whites into a green. And that's kind of a waste. Because if I wait until they're all green, it'll turn those greens into a blue, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Always a chance at purple, but there's no guarantees. Except running the pity timer, which I guess we should talk about. These purple bars under gold chests are your pity timer. The very first time you encounter any kind of gold chest, there's a lot of unique different kinds. The pity timer is at 4. That means you're guaranteed to get a piece of epic equipment in your first 4 of these chests. After you get an epic, then the pity timer goes to 10. So the worst luck ever, opening 10 chests guarantees you 1 epic piece of equipment once you're into that full pity timer. But it starts at 4. We don't have enough gold hitch chests to hit our pity timer, so this is just going to be luck. But we'll be opening a lot of gold chests, and that's how you slowly work your way up to first just getting blue or better gear, but ultimately to getting full epic on your account. You don't really want to open up like patron chests to get these core 12. Or these core 12. Hitch is kind of a Corver green, like they're kind of, I mean, you get them right away, it doesn't take much to get. But so these core 12 champions plus Hitch, getting them to, you want to get them to full epic off of regular gold chests, not patron chests. You want to save those expensive patron chests for getting full epic on your event champions. You get a piece of gear. You get a piece of gear. Even you get a piece of gear. Check under your bench seat. No. I miss fold-out phone keyboards. Oh, man. I used to have a great little phone. You turn it sideways, flip it open. It was something from Verizon. I can't remember who the actual thing was. And then you flip it open, and you had a little screen and a full QWERTY keyboard to push with pressable buttons. Oh, I loved it. I loved that for text messaging. Yeah, I hate smartphones nowadays. Yeah. But, yeah, it is what it is. Like I just, like on this, I can't feel the buttons if I'm hitting it. And normally you're like this, and then it's like, and then I just got to unpack. I can't. My thumbs are too fat. I like the small phones. Still have a Nokia 3310 if my dad hadn't dropped it into a cement mixer. Wow. Yeah. You talk to them now and just save it as MP3 and send that. There are still people out there that, well, we're starting to transition off of flip phones, but there are still people that use flip phones. People still use flip phones for stuff. And that doesn't necessarily work. It doesn't translate. My mom still had a flip phone until like a year or two ago, when her service provider was like, we're discontinuing all of these and won't provide service, and they won't work on our network after X. And it was like, well, time to get a smartphone. And then I was like, you really should probably get an iPhone, just because, not because it's the best or anything, but because I have one. And so when you have questions, I'll be able to answer them for you and help you with it. And no, she went out and got something else. I don't know what else. An Android phone or something. And I can't help her with it at all. It just frustrates me. I don't know how to do it. They're like, how do I get that? I don't know. I'm just going to have to sit down and mess with it for a while and try to figure it out, because I don't know. Yeah, I would much rather still have. I don't really use my phone for anything other than text messages and phone calls, to be honest. Occasionally I might be on an app, but uh, I just like having a phone to have for phone calls. For phone calls, imagine that. Um, so, a flip phone or just one of those where I had a keyboard that could get me phone calls and text messages and I'd be happy. But nope. Raid on BlueStacks or my phone? No, Raid has a PC client. So I use that. I was using my tablet. I do have a tablet. For when I would go into the living room, watch TV, I'd have it on my tablet. But they have updated Raid so much that now my poor tablet just crashes when I try to do like PvP stuff. And eventually, when I try enough of anything on Raid, crashes my tablet now when it didn't a year ago. So I do Raid completely on my computer now. Which is sad, but I don't want to go buy. I'm not going to go buy a new tablet just because I want to play Raid on my couch. I ain't got that kind of money. I don't have that kind of streamer money. My streamer money pays for my groceries. Wow, roadie earphones don't work anymore? That sucks. That sucks. That's genuinely bad news. Genuinely bad news. Oh, hold on. Did I miss a... No, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Hey, we finished a persistent buzzing. All right. I'm actually going to look. What's her favor? 8%. I don't... No. Nope. We could have gone into a persistent buzzing with epic potions and treated it as a favor push. I probably should have. That's on me. That's on me.